Okay, time for the zipper. And one of my habits is to have the zipper slide facing me as I go to sew it into the pillow. So I'm gonna have it facing me, and then I turn it over so the right side is down. And I'm gonna start sewing it on the side of the pillow that does not have the welt. So that's this side. So the right side of the pillow and the right side of the zipper are together. And I'm gonna go all the way to the end of the bottom and start sewing the zipper right down there. I'm going to place the zipper teeth right in that seam where I sewed the corner together. So that's a 3/4 inch seam allowance. And then that puts the zipper edge kind of like right even with the serging stitching. So I can still see my serging stitches. And then I'm gonna just sew all along this edge that does not have the welt. This part is the easy part. And then once I get close to the slide, I have to move it out of the way. All the way to the other side of the pillow, and back stitch at the beginning and the end. So here's what it looks like all the way across the whole bottom. And now I can turn it over and sew the other side of the zipper down to the side that has the welt. And so the very tippy corner doesn't have the welt stitched on because that's where I pivoted. So I'm just going to start right on top of the welt. I'm not going to even worry about stitching it where there's no welt. So I'm going to make sure that the zipper is up all the way on top of the welt. And that's where I'm going to start sewing. And then as I get to where the pillow is still open, I'm going to aim the zipper, the part without the teeth, up a little bit closer to the welt so that I can get the teeth really close to the welt. So I'm basically sewing over the same stitch line that the welt is stitched onto the pillow with. And again, I have to move that slide out of the way when I get close to it. Okay, so now you can see that I'm stitching on less of the zipper than I did on this side. And then from the front, I'll show you how it looks next to the welt. So the goal is to hide the stitching on the welt, and it looks pretty good. And usually if I go over that stitch one more time, I can get it even closer. So I'm going to do that real quick. And I can see that I did get closer, so it's a nice tight stitch now, and there's no stitching showing from the welt. So now I'm almost finished with the zipper. One more step I like to do is to create a flap from the back of the pillow that will cover up the teeth even more and hide the zipper from the back. So I'm going to turn my corners out a little bit just to kind of help me see how that zipper is looking. And if I left it like that, that's how it would look, which is not horrible, but once you see how it looks with this extra little flap stitch down, you can see how nice it hides the zipper. So what I want to do now is start my fold over right here. Make sure that I have it where I want it with a couple of pins. So I'm just going to pin it down. To show you that's how it's going to look when I stitch it. See how it traps that zipper? And so over here, the zipper's open, and here, the zipper's hidden. So I'm going to stitch that lip all the way over the same amount and hide the zipper. So I can't open the zipper all the way yet because of the slide. So I'm going to start right here where I've pinned it. And then once I get far enough, I can move the zipper slide out of the way again. Then I'll be free to see the rest of it all the way to the end. And then I'm going to take the pins out when I get close. I probably could sew over them, but I don't want to break a needle. So now I think I can move that slide out of the way. And now I can see that lip because the zipper's open. And I'm sewing from the zipper side, which is easier than sewing on the other side because the fabric won't push on me by sewing from this side of the zipper. So I can see what I'm doing, so I can get a nice even amount of fabric folded over. So it's a really nice way to control it and get a nice flat flap all the way across. I used to fight these zippers all the time, sewing them from the other side, and I'd have this extra bit of fabric at the end. And one day I turned it over and I tried it this way, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much easier. Now this one is finished, and I'll cut this loose thread and show you how nice that looks. So that's my flap, and there's the zipper. So if I zip it up, the slide actually will kind of tuck underneath that flap. So that's kind of a nice little compartment for the slide to go into. And then you can see that your zipper is hidden inside that flap. And then all I have to do now is turn it right sides together and sew up the 3 corners, and this pillow's finished. Okay, I'm back. Here is the pillow pinned together and ready to complete just by sewing the 3 sides together. And besides pinning it, I pin in the direction so that the pointy part is aiming towards the machine, and so I'm going to sew towards the pointy pin part, and then I can take them out easily as I go if I want to, but for the most part I'll be able to just stitch right past them. But if they're in the way, I can take them out really easily. I probably make funny faces as I'm sewing. I know I do. So when I get to the corner, I like to backstitch and then put the needle down at the corner and then pivot and turn and backstitch on the other side. That way when I'm turning the pillow right side out, I can poke that corner out real good and get it pointy. So it's going to take a lot of abuse, so that's why I backstitch right there. See how easy this is going? It's worth taking a minute to pin it together. Okay, let's take the pins out and see how it looks. I'm gonna check it and see if I need to go back and go over any of the stitches. This is gonna be so cute. So if I can point it, get the corners pointy with my finger, I will, but if I need to use a tool like scissors or a pointy stick, sometimes that helps a little bit. This one's pretty good, but I'm gonna poke it out a little bit with the scissor. And I did not cut away any of the extra fabric in the corner. I always feel like it just helps fill out the pillow if you leave it in there. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this pillow insert and fold it in half and get it inside. I'm gonna leave the label on. The client can take it out if they want. That way they know what kind of pillow is in here. So get all of the corners tucked up all the way inside the pillow. And then smush all that in there. Hold it down with the other hand, and then you can close the zipper. And then tuck your slide all the way inside the fold. Look how nice that zipper looks. Fluff it up. It's so cute. These are so cute. So that is how I join my welt and add my zipper and finish a pillow. Every single time I do it the same way. All those steps, even when it's a bigger pillow, it's the same steps every single time. That way it's just easy for me to know exactly what to do, and I can make many, many pillows if I have a system over and over and over again. So thanks for watching. That was fun. I'm gonna continue with many more of these.